Okay, now to troubleshoot the top end, I'm going to do a pressure leak down test, and this is going to give me a little bit more information about why the forward cylinder has slightly low compression. As you remember, we did our compression test, and this one was about 105 psi, and the PTO cylinder was good at about 120 or so. A pressure leak down test is pretty simple. You can buy a rig with its 2 pressure gauges is essentially all you need. But what I did was I rigged up my compression tester to do this test. What I have is the fitting that you normally have to go into the cylinder, and I have that tied to the pressure gauge here, and I have teed in a line to my air compressor. So what you want to do is make sure your piston is at top dead center. Pressurize the cylinder to about 100 psi. Use your compressor regulator to slowly increase the pressure. You're going to notice the pressure go up here. If the cylinder and piston are really damaged, you're probably going to notice right away that it's not holding pressure. On this one, it does hold 100 psi initially, and all we're looking for is a pressure drop over time. And one thing that's important here is, as soon as you have pressure in the cylinder, you want to pinch off the supply hose, because you don't want any more volume in this system than necessary, because that will not show you any pressure drop if you do that. All right, so here we go. I'm going to jack up some pressure. All right, so we're reading 100 psi, and now I want to isolate the pressure in the rig here and in the cylinder. Okay, now we're going to just watch for a pressure drop. All right, so there is a small amount of pressure dropping. You can see it there pretty good. Like I said, this cylinder will run, I'm sure. It's not that badly damaged, but when I do the other cylinder, you're going to see how well that holds pressure. Okay, so next I will be tearing off the cylinder head and inspecting the rings in the cylinder, because this test is telling me I probably have worn out rings or cracked rings or something, or head gasket. If this test had been good, it would have given me a lot of confidence that the cylinders are both in good shape, and there'd be another cause to this low compression. All right, I'm going to show you the other cylinder pressure leak down test, and you can see, you'll be able to see how it holds pressure. Okay, so here's the good cylinder. We've got pressure on it at 100 psi. And that one, like I said, was not leaking significantly anyway, like the other one. Okay, so this is after about 5 minutes or so, still holding pretty good. So we're going to call that good. All right, so we got the head off, and you can see there's a lot of gouging and damage on that cylinder from probably a bearing that came apart, but that was prior damage because there's no debris in the cylinder, and like I said, the compression wasn't that bad. All right, so we have the cylinder off, and we've measured the inside diameters of those. And the mag side is 3.466. The standard bore is 3.465. So it's not too far out of spec, but these pistons are original, it appears, and they are 3.457. So the piston wall clearance is 9 thousandths. So we'll go to our manual, and if I can find it, the piston to cylinder wall clearance new is 0047, and the wear limit is 0087. And like I said, we're at 9,000, so we're actually over that wear limit. So I think our problem is just that the cylinders and pistons are worn out. And that has given me slightly low compression. So basically we're going to have to do a bore job, and I think that's all we'll need on this top end. 10 thousandths over should clean it up. So that's what we'll do, and we'll retake those cylinder compression readings after we get it running again, and see how that turns out. All right, so we're going to do our compression test after reassembling. We've run the engine on the hose. Really doesn't have any break-in time on it yet, so these numbers should go up as the rings seal as we break it in. But this is just our initial confirmation. So here we go. All right, so looks like we have about 125 there, which is pretty good initially. So okay, and now the other cylinder. All right, so we're getting right at 120. That was the damaged cylinder. So that is good news. We went from 105 to 120. And like I said, this has not been broken in yet. The importance of that is getting those rings to seal. The oil will distribute through the cylinder, and that should be even better after we get some runtime on this. So this ski has 232 hours on it. Like I said, the rebuilt motor was put in and had 1 season of running on it. So now that we have a fresh top end, we did not replace the bottom end. So it's critical, I think, to confirm the bottom end is tight, and we'll do that by doing a crankcase leak down test, which I think is something that's often overlooked, especially when just throwing in a new top end. I think you should always confirm that your crankcase is tight. And we're not going to put this back on the water until we do that. So that'll be part 3 of this video series. I'll show you how to do that.